time to talk about class points. In art class, your class can earn up to 5 class points at each art time. You can earn an enter point, a listen point, a work point, a cleanup point, and a lineup point. How do you do that? Well, this is how you earn your enter point. Fist bump at the door with Mrs. Hale. Enter the art room quietly and calmly and go right to your assigned seat. If your class does a good job with that, you get your enter point. Your listen point. What does the listen point look like? Your eyes are on the teacher, your ears are listening, and your mouth is closed, which means you're not talking during listening time. Unless you have a question, then please just raise your hand and wait to be called on. The next point to earn is your work point. What does it look like? Just like the little girl in the picture, when it's time to make your art, you are using your time well, creating art. You are doing your best. And the voice level is at a 0, 1, or 2. So a little bit of soft talking is okay most of the time. If you can do that, you get your work point. The fourth point you can earn is your cleanup point. What does it look like? Well, when it's time to clean up, I will ring the cleanup bell, and then you need to stop whatever you're doing right away and listen to the cleanup directions. Listen to the directions as far as where the art supplies need to go. When your table is all cleaned up, please put your head down on your table, just like that little girl. If your class can do a good cleanup, you get your cleanup point. Also, we have a cleanup contest, and the table that cleans up first is the winner, and everyone at that table gets a heart ticket. And then our fifth point you can earn is your lineup point. What does it look like? When your table is called, you may stand up, push in your chair, make a nice line at the door, and voices are off. If your class does that well, you get your lineup point. So what do you do with these points? Every 25 points that your class earns, you get a reward party. During the reward party, we will do art stations, and I will call names to face paint, and I'll try to give everybody at least one chance during the school year to get their face painted. I will try. So this is something new. This paint palette that's up here on the whiteboard. What is that all about? Well, there is a color on the paint palette for each table. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and pink. And if your table is maybe getting a little too loud, some kids are goofing around, not really getting much work done, then your table would lose a color. I would take a color off. And then let's say orange table decides to quiet down and get back to work. And if they do that successfully, they will get their color back on the paint palette. So at the end of art class, all of the tables that still have their color on the paint palette will get heart tickets. So you want to really try to keep your color on the paint palette, but you do have a chance to get it back. If you make a little mistake, you can fix it. So that's what the paint palette is all about. Another thing that is new this year is our quiet signal. For our quiet signal, we are going to use a space theme because in art class we are going to be doing outer space projects. So that's our theme at the beginning of this school year. So when I say 3, 2, 1, you say blast off, but you whisper it. So I say 3, 2, 1, and you say blast off. And then everybody's quiet and ready to listen to what I need to tell you. Voice levels are still the same. 5 is an outside voice. We should not use outside voices in the school building. 4 is a strong speaker. That would be the voice level I use when I'm teaching. 3 level is a group talk. Sometimes we talk with the people at our tables as part of an activity. Partner talk is a little bit softer. That's when you're just talking quietly to someone next to you. Number 1 is a whisper. That's a whisper voice. And then 0, of course, is voices off. No talking at all. So those are our different voice levels. Rules in art class. Number 1 is listen and follow directions. See the person with the hand by their ear? They are listening. Number 2, raise your hand if you have a question. Raise your hand quietly and wait to be called on. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit because I can't always answer your question right away. So you have to be patient and raise your hand quietly. And number 3 is be nice. How can we be nice in the art room? Let's think about that. Now, there are some consequences if you're not following the rules. Number 1, step 1, is a warning, and I will write your name down in my notebook. I keep track of these. I used to write names on the whiteboard. I'm not going to do that this year, but I will be keeping track in my notebook. Step 2, if the problem continues, then step 2 is a time out. See the person making the T signal, T for time out. That means the student needs to go sit at a desk by themselves, away from other people for a while. And then if a student is in timeout and still is not following the rules, I will have to contact their parents and let them know what's going on. It could be a phone call, a note home, an email. Usually it's a note that looks like this that goes home in your planner, and it tells your parents what the problem was. And then at the bottom, your parents need to sign it so that I know that they saw it, and then you need to bring that back and give it to me so that I know that your parents saw it. I don't always follow the consequences in that exact order. Just depending on the situation, I might need to skip a step or add a step. Each situation is a little bit different, but that's the general order of the consequences. Heart tickets this year I will be collecting those. So instead of you taking them back to your classroom, you will put your heart tickets in my heart tickets can that I decorated. So that's new. Another thing that's new is once a month I'll be selecting a heart hero from art class. And the heart hero will be a student. I will select a student that is showing all of the heart behavior that school-wide we are looking for. That means they are honest, do the right thing, they show effort, strive to be your best, accountable, be responsible, R, respect, show consideration for yourself, others, and your environment, and T, teamwork, work well with others, and demonstrate kindness. So I'll be selecting one heart hero each month that is following those. So I think it's going to be a great year. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn about art and make some amazing projects.